What if I told you that by following 5 simple steps you could assure that you would never struggle financially ever again? Unfortunately, as of 2017, 78% of all American workers say they live paycheck to paycheck, and it's not just low-wage workers who have this problem either. Nearly 1 out of every 10 workers making over $100,000 a year say that they also live paycheck to paycheck, and 59% of them are in debt. Living paycheck to paycheck is like being stuck on a never-ending staircase. No matter how hard you try, you can never get ahead. Every dollar you make goes into paying bills, leaving you with nothing left to show for all of your hard work. Compound this financial restriction with unexpected expenses, and it's no wonder that 55% of all Americans are in credit card debt, with 10% having more than a $5,000 balance outstanding. So if you continue in this financial struggle for years, how do you ever work towards your long-term financial goals like buying a house or saving for college, let alone for luxuries like a nice vacation? The good news is that the following 5 steps will help you break free from any financial turmoil you may be facing and never live paycheck to paycheck again. Step number 1. Track your spending. Trying to save money without tracking your spending is like trying to hit a target with your eyes closed. It just won't happen. Therefore, the first step to taking control of your finances is to figure out exactly where all your money is going. Believe it or not, most people make enough to cover their core expenses, but the reason they struggle financially is because of their discretionary spending that they may not be even aware that they are doing. As such, your first goal is to track down those hidden budget busters and eliminate them. So for the next month, track every single penny you spend, from your monthly rent payment to that dollar for a cup of coffee. Jot down your expenses in a notebook or use personal finance software like Mint to keep track of all of your spending. Make sure to consider your automatic payments and hidden costs too. Your monthly subscription to Netflix or bank transaction fees are sneaky culprits that will drain your savings potential every single month. For those who want to manage their money old school style, write down your expenses in a notebook instead. Simply seeing all of your expenses written down in black and white can be a revelation. For instance, you might realize you've been blowing nearly $30 a month in ATM fees, or $50 a month grabbing a snack at the convenience store on your way home from work. Seeing how these nickel and dime expenses are costing you could be enough to shock you into changing your habits, freeing up cash in your budget at the end of each month. Step number 2, make a budget. Once you know where all your money is going every month, you can then use that information to make a budget. When it comes to the format of your budget, some people will prefer to write their budget down on paper, while others will lean towards tracking using software like Excel. Either way works, but the main thing is that you update your budget and stick to it. Now, I told you that these were 5 simple steps to ensuring your financial success, so let me share with you 2 of my favorite budgeting methods. The first is a 20-30-50 method. This budget method works in the following way. Every month, you divide your income with 50% being designated towards living expenses, like rent, utilities, and groceries. The next 30% goes towards entertainment costs like going out to eat or seeing a movie. The final 20% is meant to go right into your savings account. Unfortunately, not everyone wants to break down their expenses to this level, which is why I want to share with you what I find to be the easiest budgeting method ever invented, the 80-20 method. If you're unfamiliar with this method, here's how it works. 80% of your income goes towards your living expenses, and the other 20% goes towards your savings every month. It's that simple. Just make sure to include annual expenses like property tax payments and gym memberships into your budget in the appropriate months so that these larger expenses don't tank your savings efforts in the month they come due. Step number 3, cut expenses. Now that you've set up a budget, it's time to optimize your potential to save. Sure, you are now intending on saving 20% of your income every month, but what if you could save more? To make room in your budget for more savings, you need to look for other things you can cut. There are 2 main types of expenses in your budget: fixed and flexible. Fixed expenses are costs that are the same every single month, such as your rent or car payment. Flexible expenses are those that vary from month to month, such as gas and groceries. To save as much as possible, you need to look at both these types of expenses. Flexible expenses are usually easier to cut since they don't require major lifestyle changes. However, you can often find greater savings by cutting back on fixed expenses, since these are some of the biggest items in your budget. For instance, finding an apartment that costs $300 less a month will help in the savings department much more than cutting out a few coffees a month. Once you've found some big savings opportunities in your day-to-day life to increase your savings, you should pair this excellent work with a shift in your savings mindset. From this point forward, whenever you consider buying something, ask yourself, Do I really need it? When I was establishing my own money-saving mindset, I would use the stranger test for every purchase I was considering. If you're unfamiliar with this money-saving trick, let me explain how it works. Every time you think about buying something, picture a stranger standing in front of you. In one hand, they have the item you want to buy. In the other hand, they have its monetary value in cash. Which would you rather have? In most cases, the cash is probably more appealing. When taking this approach on a regular basis, you will start to see yourself continuously picking the money over the item, which solidifies your position in not splurging and instead keeping that money in hand. Step number 4, boost your income. For most people, cutting expenses is the easiest way to boost savings. However, if you're already living on a shoestring budget, there's probably not much you can cut. In this case, the best way to save more money is to make more money. There are 2 main ways to do this: earn more at your job or find ways to bring in income on the side. Let's start by looking at a few ways you can increase the income you earn through your job. At first glance, it may not be obvious how you can increase the income you get from your job. After all, your boss sets your pay rate, not you. However, if you look carefully, you'll find that there are actually several ways to give your paychecks a little boost. For instance, you can offer to work more overtime if your role allows for it. Moreover, you can demonstrate to your boss the good work you are doing and pitch him or her on the fact that you deserve a raise. In the same vein, you can look into other opportunities within and outside your company for higher paying roles. Now, maybe you don't think any of these methods will help increase your income. Then we have to move on to outside sources of income to boost your earnings. One of the ways to supplement your 9-to-5 income is by picking up a second job. While holding down 2 jobs at once is demanding, if you can manage it, even for a short time, it can give you the extra cash you need to pay down some debt or get your emergency fund started. Another great option is to start your own side business. You already have to listen to your boss for 8 hours a day, so why not be your own boss while also supplementing your income? This can come in the form of freelance work, a YouTube channel, or driving for Uber or Lyft. However, if you can't fathom working even 1 extra hour a week, then renting out a room in your house is another way to increase your income. Whether you do this by taking on a long-term tenant or renting out a room on Airbnb, leveraging your property to earn you some extra cash is a great way to kickstart your savings efforts. Step number 5, put your money to work. Once you've found ways to set aside more money in your budget for savings, you need to start putting that money to work for you. If you simply leave it sitting in your savings account, it won't earn much interest. The average savings account yields just 0.09% interest annually, which means that even if you have $50,000 in savings, you would earn a measly $45 in interest. So where should you put your money instead? Common investment vehicles include equities and real estate, which have historical average returns of 8.4% and 6% respectively. So with that same $50,000 we just talked about, you can instead be earning anywhere from $3,000 to $4,200 instead. But maybe picking stocks to invest in or being a landlord doesn't appeal to you. Don't worry, there are other investment vehicles you can use to grow your wealth. Some of the most commonly used investment vehicles include Roth IRAs and 401ks, and if you're unfamiliar with them, let me briefly explain how they work. With a Roth IRA, your contributions are taxed when they're made, so you can withdraw the contributions and earnings tax-free once you're age 59 and a half. This is important because whatever amount this account accrues to over time will be the exact amount you'll have access to when you withdraw it. And similar to a traditional IRA, a Roth IRA has an annual contribution limit of $6,000 a year or $7,000 for people aged 50 or older. A 401k, on the other hand, is a retirement plan that is offered by employers, which allows employees to realize tax advantages when used. You see, normally when you earn money as an employee, you have income taxes withheld on the money you earn. A 401k plan allows you to avoid paying income taxes in the current year on the amount of money that you put into the plan. The amount you put in is called a salary deferral contribution. As you have chosen to defer some of the salary you earn today, put it in the plan and save it so you can spend it in your retirement years. Then, upon retiring, you will draw out the amount of money you need to live from the plan, which will hopefully be at a lower tax rate than you would have incurred when working, allowing you to save tax overall. Once you have one or both of these funds set up, you then need to ask yourself how involved you want to be in the investing process. If you want your involvement to start and end with a deposit into your account, then using a robo-advisor to manage your investment portfolio is a way to go. Alternatively, you can self-manage your fund by choosing the specific funds you want to invest in. Either way, the main thing is that you start letting your money work for you. Thanks for watching. If you want to go from the life you have to the life you deserve, then hit the subscribe button now.